Warning, I'm just having fun with old cars. I hope you get some tips and a good laugh from watching, but don't do what I do on your projects. What is up, everybody? How's it going? Um, so we're here in the cab of the old truck, the C10, the old truck. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Uh, and we got a bunch of stuff we gotta do, and I've been putting it off and putting it off, and I can't do that anymore. I can, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna start on it. So, first things first, I gotta go pick up some parts at the parts store, and yeah, we're gonna do that. And you guys will probably ride along. Might be an abbreviated trip for you, or I might leave it out altogether, or we might not make it, because honestly, I haven't driven this thing in a while, and sitting is bad for things. Anyway, I already had it running this morning, as you should have already seen, maybe, and hopefully it starts back up, and yeah, we're gonna go pick up some parts. Hey-o, there we go. Also, it's like it's 36 degrees outside, so everyone else is smarter than me, and they've already put their old junk away for the year, and here I am, not doing that, and working outside because I love cars. They're so great. All right, hey, you wait there. I'm gonna run to the parts house. I think this thing likes to go there. There's a lot more than I do. We made it. Okay, well, we made our trip to the parts store. Um, it ran okay, you know. It's been sitting for a couple weeks, and I guess I better explain the rabbit hole that I'm about to go down that I've been putting off for a very long time. And partly it's because, for instance, today I was able to hop in that thing and run to the parts store, which is nice. And I can move it around on its own, no extra effort. Um, so that's nice. But also, there's a lot of problems that need to be addressed. And I keep putting it off, keep putting it off. But I think the time has come. Like I said earlier, it's cold. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know if it's made it to 40 degrees yet. And realistically, I don't drive it that much. So I need to just get it. I need to just get everything done. So now let's run down the list of all those things. Uh, if you watch my other videos on the truck, I've always talked about I I think the pump in the transmission is whining. Um, it's one of those things. I'm not 100% sure that's what it is. I don't know if I'm 80% sure that's what it is. But I went ahead and ordered a new gear set for the pump. I also ordered a pressure relief valve thing and like a full gasket kit. So that's supposed to bump up the line pressure a little bit, which maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. And also new gears and stuff. So, oh, I got something in my eye. I can't see. Uh, so I've been needing to do that. That's the main reason I don't drive it much because I'm terrified that I'm going to tear that transmission up. And I don't want to rebuild the whole thing, even though I might have to anyway. So that's one of the problems. Now, the thing with that problem is you guys see where I work. Dropping the transmission out the bottom is a huge pain on jack stands. It's doable. I've done it, but it sucks. So the next problem we have is this motor now leaks oil from all over the place. Oil pan gasket, timing chain cover gasket, the oil pressure gauge line is leaking for like the third time, and that is because I've just been shortening the plastic line that came with it each time, and it's just the same failure every time. So now most of that stuff could be done in the truck, but I've also got to get to the front of the transmission. So this is where the rabbit hole starts. I'm like here, I'm gonna end up way down here. So if we're gonna do all the gaskets and everything in the motor, we might as well take it out of the truck, right? Easier to do everything. And if I do that, I can access the front of the transmission and service the pump, hopefully. And you know, whatever, maybe that's not too bad. But I also have talked about in other videos, I need to put rockers on this thing, because it I can patch up the rockers that are on it. If I'm being honest, I think it's better to just put the whole replacement stamped rocker on it. I've done it both ways. The stamped rockers, the replacement ones never fit perfect, but I've had some success making them look good still, and I think it's the more correct way, maybe. But back to the rabbit hole. To do the whole rocker, you gotta take the front, well, you gotta take fenders off. Take fenders off, you gotta take the hood off. You pretty much gotta take the hood off to lift the motor out of it. So you also gotta take, you may not have to take the doors off. I may see if I can do it without taking the doors off, hopefully. But you definitely gotta take fenders off to get to the front of the rocker panel. So now we're into disassemble the whole front clip, pull the motor out, and yeah, I'm gonna do all that on a truck that runs and drives. I just took to go pick up the parts to do that with. So you can kind of understand why I've been putting this off. I hate taking apart running vehicles because it just takes so long to get them back together. But it's winter time. It is currently the 8th of December. So it's just gonna get colder. So I might as well do it now. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. And now I'm making these videos, which forces me to come out every week and work on something. So hopefully that will speed up the process. Hold on. This is what I went and picked up. Felpro 260-1000. It's a small block Chevy gasket kit. I just bought a whole gasket kit. It was easier, about the same price as buying just a pan gasket and timing chain cover gasket. I don't know why it's like that, but it's the way it is. So I just bought a whole gasket kit. Picked up this brass line kit for the oil pressure gauge, and as much as I don't want to do it, we're gonna tear this thing apart. This video, obviously, I've already spent I don't know, we're probably like 10-12 minutes into this video, and I have not done anything other than bore you guys with my rabbit hole conversation. So I'm going to, right now, the truck's over here. Don't tell anyone that cares, but I'm gonna drain the coolant over there into a bucket and get it all. It's all gonna go in the bucket and not on the ground. And then I'm gonna drive the truck over here, because it can run for a minute or so with no coolant in it, and then hopefully I won't have to lay in coolant, which I wouldn't anyway, because it's all gonna land in the bucket. And we're just gonna start tearing into this thing. I believe this video. See, I'm still on the fence about all this stuff. I hate taking this truck apart. It's really bothering me. But I think we're just gonna go ahead and pull the motor out of it in this video. And depending on where we're at time-wise, I may split this into several videos. We might just take it apart in this one. Kind of depends on how it goes. I'm gonna time-lapse all that. There's nothing hard about pulling the motor out of one of these trucks other than the amount of work. It's all just unbolt, disconnect. If you're watching this, I'm sure you're capable of doing it. There's not a lot of things easier to work on than one of these old cars. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna start doing all that. I think my goal is to leave the transmission in the truck and service the pump through the engine compartment, so I don't have to take it out, hopefully. And yeah, I'm just prologuing. What the hell's prologuing? Prolonging my pain here, because I'm really dreading this. But that motor's been in the truck for 7 years, and I built it out of leftover engine parts, mostly. So that's pretty cool, I guess. But is there anything else I can say before I actually have to get to work? I don't know. I'm gonna do the coolant thing and then get the truck moved over here, and yeah, start taking it apart. There's also other stuff that I'll show you once we get the motor out that I need to fix or want to fix. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna go work. I'll catch you up in a minute. Okay, well, here's the resting place for the truck for a little while. I got the coolant drained out. It's still draining a little bit, so I have pans under there. I really wish I had a better place to work, because if you look, I gotta leave enough room to get the engine hoist and stuff out, which puts my truck uh, pretty much outside the carport. But um, it is what it is. We're gonna make the best of it, just like we always do. Um, the next step is gonna be, I'm gonna get underneath. I gotta undo the converter. I gotta undo the exhaust. I wanted to leave the headers. I wanted to leave the motor as complete as I could, but I'm pretty sure I gotta take at least the headers off. I found out while I was messing with draining the coolant that the power steering pump is bad. The bearings shot in it. It's got a bunch of play in it. So that's great. Just going down the rabbit hole. But yeah, I'm going to listen. All you guys know how to take bolts out. Take them apart. That's the easy part. So I'm just gonna set you guys up on my little stand wherever. How does this work? How does this, my little stand? I'm gonna set you up, and we're just gonna time lapse this deal. I'm gonna try and get it out relatively quick. This thing ain't a pro mod, so it's gonna take a little while. But yeah, I'm just gonna set you up on time lapse and get to work. And once I get it out, I guess I should drain the oil out of it. Damn it. Anyway, yes, time lapse. We'll get it out, and then hopefully, I don't know, that might be the end of this video, and I might break it up into doing the gaskets on the motor and the transmission, and then I'll show you the stuff I gotta do on the firewall, because it's got more holes than a brick of Swiss cheese. That joke might have been funny if I could get it out without screwing it up. But I can't. I'm an idiot. So, yeah. You guys enjoy the time lapse. I'm going to do a bunch of work, and we will reconvene, hopefully, with the motor out of this thing. Come on! Okay, so, it looks like that took you guys about 3 minutes to watch, ish. Um, it is not quite ready to come out yet. I've kind of been taking my time and found a couple things else that I got, couple things else, couple a couple other things, English, that I gotta fix, like uh, completely missing a converter bolt. So that's good. It's good news. Um, I think I already mentioned power steering pumps bad, and yeah. So I've got most of all the critical stuff disconnected. The only thing I still gotta do is the carburetor. I gotta take it off so I can use my lift plate to get the motor out, and all the electrical is disconnected. I got two bolts in the bell housing holding it in place, and the two motor mount bolts. We should be ready to lift it out. I don't know if it's gonna come out with this hood on or not, which is gonna be unfortunate because I'm home by myself, and these hoods are very heavy. So yeah, uh, yeah, everything's disconnected. It is 12:20, so I'm gonna take a lunch break, I guess, and after that, I will probably set you guys back up, and hopefully, there's in less than a hour of work, I should be able to this thing right out of here. I'm still kicking myself for doing this because who takes a perfectly good running motor out? It's not perfectly good running, I guess, if it's pouring oil out of the front and the back. But you know what I mean. So, hang on. There's gonna be another time lapse. Ha! I don't know. I don't know what else to do unless you guys want me to just jump around, which I could do also. Maybe let me know which way you prefer. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat something and come back out and finish extricating the engine from this truck. College word. Come on. Okay, well, as you saw in the previous video clippy clips, um, it's out, um, and my running truck doesn't run anymore, so yay. Um, yeah, so this is probably as much as this video is going to show for today, because now I have a lot of cleaning to do, um, both on the truck and, you know, in my shop, aka carport. Um, but I mean, it came out about like I expected. Uh, yeah, so I got a lot of work ahead of me now because I'm here and I'm kind of committed now. So before this video ends, I know you probably want it to be over now, but I'm going to kind of show you all the stuff that I got to get done while this is apart, and kind of the plan of what I'm going to do, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. It won't. But, um, yeah, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I got going on, and then I have to clean up my mess, and I gotta go to the store because I do not believe I have bolts to put that on the engine stand, so I gotta get those. So I'm gonna show you what I got going on as far as what to expect in future videos. Um, the transmission pump deal is gonna be its own video. Probably do a video of just cleaning the motor up and trying to fix all the oil leaks. I've never been good at getting a motor to not leak. So if you have any pointers for oil pan gasket stuff, like where to put silicone, where not to put silicone, all that kind of stuff, uh, let me know. I'll take any advice I can get. Um, but yeah, so we're going to do transmission, motor, not necessarily in this order, but this is the stuff I got to do. I'll show you, there's holes in the firewall that I want to fix. And then I will show you the rockers, which I already have the patch panels for that. But what I think my plan right now is transmission, motor, and then I think I'm gonna put that back together. This is a rough plan, okay? Don't hold me to it. And I'll probably put all that back together and try and get it running again. Hopefully in a week or two. Hopefully. And then once I have it running again, I'm gonna pull the hood, fenders off, maybe the doors if I have to, and we'll put rocker panels on it. So that should be, in theory, the next 3 videos after this one. This one's not hugely exciting stuff going on. Neither will the gaskets on the motor, but it's just necessary work I have to do. And if I'm being honest, I don't have a lot of time to spend a day doing this stuff off camera to get ready to do stuff on camera. So call it a bonus, if you will, but you guys get to see all of the work, because yeah, I can't, I ain't got no time. I ain't got none. So yeah, the motor is covered in oil.
The whole truck is covered in oil because I didn't realize this, but the oil pan's leaking out of the front and the back. Great. And yeah, let me show you that, and then we'll end this video so you don't have to keep dragging on this stuff that's probably really boring. Hang on. Okay, so the motor's out, sitting on the ground. It still made a mess, even though I tried not to. You can see I've smeared silicone all over this front cover, and it still leaks oil horribly. So, here's what it is. There's nothing wrong with the fuel pump. I just had to take it off to get it out because I didn't want to take the hood off. The back oily mess, that's from this stupid fitting right here. It's always leaked. When I was taking it apart, I found out that this vacuum whatever is loose, so that's probably a vacuum leak, so that's not great. The back of the motor is covered in oil. Yeah, it sucks. You're not gonna be able to tell. Well, it almost looks like oil has been, I don't know, there's oil everywhere. I can't even tell where it's coming from. So that's the issue we got to address. Then obviously, if there's oil all over the motor, there's oil all over the transmission. It's disgusting. But the firewall, somebody welded in a panel here. They kind of just tacked it in. I'm not super happy with it, if I'm being honest, but I don't think we're gonna change it right now because I'm trying not to go too far down this rabbit hole. But as you can see, hole there, hole there, hole there, hole there, whatever that thing is sticking out of the firewall, don't know. You can't see it. There's a little hole there, hole there, hole there, big hole there, bunch of little holes there. So we just don't need all those. So while the motor's out, I'm gonna plug all that stuff up. My hope is that I can leave the transmission in it like it is and pull the pump out and service it that way, so I don't have to disconnect any of the shifter or any of that stuff because I don't want to. And then the last thing we gotta do while it's all apart, well, rockers. This is not ideal. Granted, I've seen a lot worse, and I know that I could patch these, but everywhere along there is bubbled up, and right here's pretty rough. So we're just gonna put both rockers on it. And if I'm feeling froggy, I think I'm gonna try and fill the holes in the door where those speakers are, because I don't have a radio in the truck. I'm not gonna put one. So that's basically where I'm at. Also, while I'm doing the rust repair, I'm gonna get all that painted. I'm gonna be rolling it on like I did the front end because I was pretty happy with that. And I also got some tips from some of my subscribers, which is cool. So I'm gonna try and take their advice, and it will hopefully come out even better than the rest of the truck did. I wish that sun would go away. It's not true. I don't want the sun to go away, because if it was raining, it'd be way worse today. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. It's not no shiny new stuff in this video, but we're doing a bunch of maintenance and hopefully after all this stuff is done, there's not a whole lot other than maintaining this thing and just driving it that we can do. I really want to start driving it places. Some point I'd really like to do a road trip in it, but just it's gonna take time. I was hoping to not pull this motor out until I was ready to put something else in it, but I kind of changed my own plan by buying the S10 and decided not to sell it. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Thanks everybody who watches and all that stuff. This is kind of a setup video for the next probably 3 or 4 weeks worth of videos, just so you guys see what's going on. And yeah, appreciate all you guys, and hope you have a good weekend. This YouTube thing is very confusing because I'm filming on a different day than videos come out, and I can't remember what day it is. But anyway, just yeah, be cool. Take stuff apart in your carport. Make your neighbors mad. It's good for your health. See you. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.